Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it's so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, welcome into another edition, a very special edition of the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by Emerging Investigations. You can find them at emerginginv.com, Tampa Bay's #1 private investigation agency. We're going to get right to it and welcome in the future Hall of Famer, and I'm not jinxing anything. This is happening. The great Rondé Barber will join us right now, and we're going to talk some golf and some football probably as well. Do you get mad at me when I say future Hall of Famer? It's not like a no-hitter or anything, right? We're just acknowledging the obvious here, right?
Yeah, at this point, I don't think you can jinx it. So, no, you can keep saying it.
All right, good. No problem.
At least that's what I'm hoping for. So,
yeah. Good to see your smiling face this morning in your beautiful office there. And I know you've been very busy with this preseason. So, by law, I'm obligated to ask you, what the hell happened with Tom Brady? Where the hell was he? What's going on? You got to tell me everything right now. Everything.
You probably know more than I do, JP. You have sleuths around searching for clues here and there.
Yes. You know, why do you think a private eye investigation agency is a title sponsor now? What do you think? I'm crazy? I got them on the job 24/7, and we still don't know. No.
I don't care if he went to the moon, man. He's back, and he's going to be here, hopefully playing in this preseason game. I understand that he was thinking about taking some snaps, so I'm hoping for that, and he'll be there in Dallas on week 1. So I think that's all we can ask for. I mean, he's Tom Brady, man. If anybody's going to take a hiatus from football for whatever reason and come back and be himself, it's him. I think he's earned that. And from what I understand, the coaches understood what was going on. Everybody in the front office understood what was going on, and they just let it be. And I think the most important thing, I've obviously been talking to a lot of people about this because everybody wants to know. And besides me saying, I don't know, his teammates were all right with it. You know, I think that's probably the biggest thing that I took away from this. They probably know what he was doing and were okay with him doing it. And when he came back, it was pretty seamless.
And you know, the reporting that we've done and other people have done, basically, without getting too much into it, is a family work-life balance, which at age 45 with the kids that he has cannot be easy, and the public marriage that he has cannot be easy in any way. I mean, all of you players deal with that work-life balance, especially guys like you and Tom that are ridiculously busy preparing probably twice as much as any other player. So and as I said the other day, if he needs to take 11 days off to get his head right in a great family space and his body right, it helps his shoulder, it helps his elbow, it helps, you know, I think it helps everything. I think it's a brilliant move either way. And at 45, there is no template for this, right? He's making up his own, and I think we can trust him to do that.
That's exactly right. It's funny you just said that, because I was reading something the other day. Maybe it was in the daily brief that I get from Rick Odioso, and it said of the quarterbacks that played 44 and plus, I think they had, what was it, 1,500 yards and like 14 touchdowns combined of all the other quarterbacks. And so, yeah, I mean, the guy's got a lot of wear and tear. If he takes a couple of days off, I don't think anybody's worried about that. But you hit it, I think, on the head. You nailed it, really. You're 45 playing in the NFL. Your life is way different than when you're 25 or 30, and maybe even 40. I mean, there's so many things that are married into your existence, so to speak, by the time you're mid 40s, that, you know, sometimes you just got to take care of stuff. And yeah, he's very involved. I mean, yeah, he's got his different business entities that he's behind that, you know, who knows what was the reason he decided to take those 10 days off, but I'm sure he had a good one. And I honestly don't really need to know what it is. So
he'll be fine. I think they're paying him a little bit more at Fox than they paid you. I'm not sure. Can I get the W-2 on that deal?
It might take me 37 years to get what
yeah, but they made him do the Masked Singer, so you didn't have to do that. So maybe that's what the money was for. But you do expect him to play this week. He's played in the preseason in the past, and I think of all years, maybe this one, you know, more than anything, to get just a couple of snaps with this new center. I mean, he's never played with this guy on the field under the lights. So is that important?
I think it is. And not that this offense really runs a bunch of under center stuff, but they do have it in. And but he's been working with them for the most part since that injury to Jenkins. And this kid's going to be a good player. I don't think they're worried about that, but at the end of the day, I'd love to see him get those snaps just for comfort's sake. Even if it's just a series or two. I think the normal last game for Tom Brady is usually like 2 series. So I'd love to see that. I'd love to see Julio play just to get him out there. I mean, I think all of us studying preseason and watching preseason, we at least want to see a little bit of what we're going to, just get a sampling of what we're going to see during the regular season. And this would be the game to do it. So I'm looking forward to it, but we never know. We show up at the stadium me and Chris show up at the stadium every preseason Saturday. And it's like, is he playing or is he not playing? Like last week, we didn't know Leonard Fournette was playing because the original report was that he wasn't playing. And then, we started, we're going to start the show with Rachaad White. And all of a sudden, Mike from PR comes in and says, no, Leonard's playing. Like, okay, thanks.
Is that the way it's going to go with? So you don't want to do 3 hours on Channel 8 this week like we did last week with no scoring and nobody we know out there? You don't want to do that again? You want to see
You know what? It's funny because I'm well equipped to talk about the bottom of the roster. I mean, I spend most of the training camp out there and, studying these guys, not knowing that they're going to get to play a lot. But that was excessive, man. What was our saving grace is that we had talked to BA a couple of days before, and he had agreed to come on during the third quarter. And we had him on for like 3 breaks, bro. We were like, "You're not leaving, man. There's nothing else going on."
Yeah, you're earning your money today, no question about it. Well, you mentioned Hainsey, and obviously the national media is going bananas over this offensive line that the Buccaneers had is trash now. They've lost Ryan Jensen, the Bucs, and Tom Brady's afraid to take us. I mean, the sky is falling in the national media. What are your thoughts on how this offensive line is going to come together?
Well, I mean, that was always the question mark, JP. I mean, you lose Ali Marpet. Have you seen him recently?
I have not, but I'm guessing he's like 230.
He's like 220 and ripped, man. Living his best life, going back to school. I mean, like you hated that he retired at the end of last year because he finally made a Pro Bowl. He finally got his comeuppance, so to speak, and get that national recognition from everybody, and then he retires. But so that was unexpected. You obviously don't expect to lose Ryan Jensen in a freak kind of injury first week of training camp, and then trying to replace Alex Kappa at right guard. Yeah, that was the question. The tackles are good, right? Wirfs and Donovan Smith are fine. But you go out and get Shaq Mason, who could probably be an upgrade at right guard. Just, speaking honestly, the guy's got a lot of experience. He's considered one of the best right guards in football. They drafted Hainsey for this exact reason because they didn't think that Ryan Jensen was going to come back during free agency last year. So they knew they had to plan ahead. So they planned ahead. So he could have been in this position anyways. And now the X factor for me, and this is one of the things I'll talk about a lot during this last preseason game, assuming the starters play, is that, starting a rookie likely at left guard. And Luke Gedeke he's got the pedigree, looks the part, but again, he's also changing positions from right tackle in college to left guard in the NFL. And to me, it's just me talking. I think that puts a lot of good responsibility on Donovan Smith playing next to a young guy. He's got to be a leader on that side of the ball and help him get his feet wet, so to speak. He's shown some good things. He's shown some bad things. But it's not the sky's falling down type of panic that everybody else wants to purport out there. It's not the case. I think they're fine on the offensive line. Depth is always an issue on an offensive line, but they got a bunch of swing players. I think they'll be fine, JP.
Rondé Barber joining us here. It's been a while since Julio joined the team, obviously, and we saw him early in training camp. But I want to get your thoughts on this. Just you're playing nickel against this team in the red zone, and here comes Julio and Mike and Russell Gage and Kyle Rudolph. Well, maybe I'll throw Scotty Miller at your time. I mean, it's endless. How do you defend this team in the red zone as a defender? What would you do?
Yeah, that's not even mentioning when Chris Godwin gets back.
He's forgot about him.
Practiced full go right now. He's probably closer than we think he is. Yeah, it's hard.
Week 1.
What's that?
You think Godwin plays week 1? I do.
It doesn't seem like they're pushing him to play week 1 because they don't need him to, because they like the aforementioned guys. Evans is back practicing. You have Julio Jones. It's a great one too. If Russell Gage is back healthy by then, which I think he should be, it's okay if he doesn't play. But knowing him, I think he's anxious to play. So I wouldn't be surprised if he suits up week 1. But that being said, to answer your question, you hope that you get to the quarterback. I expect defenses to throw all-out blitzes in the red zone against Tom Brady, take advantage of the perceived weakness right on the offensive line, and make him have to make quick decisions. But the reality is, dealing with the tight ends, Cam Brayton and Kyle Rudolph, if they're in there, and then those trio of receivers, whoever they are, I don't know. There's a reason they score 30 points a game. It's just who they are.
But you're saying if you're a defensive back, you pull a hamstring and get off the field before you get embarrassed.
You give yourself one of these. 30 seconds. Think it over. Go get beat anyways.
Am I wrong to say that I'm super excited about this defense, and I think it can be one of the better defenses? I mean, top 5 defenses in the league. I think they're faster. I think the secondary is better. I think they brought in some really good playmakers of veterans in Logan Ryan and Keanu. What are your thoughts?
So obviously great defenses to me rely on great rushers up front. And to me, that we have one, Shaq Barrett, we know what he is. This is a big, big year. And I know it's only his second year, but this is big for Joe Tryon-Shoyinka. He's got to turn into that guy. And he looks the part. I mean, he had a great preseason last year. We expected it, but they ran him around all over the field, different formations and different roles in the defense last year. Now he's taking over for JPP full-time. Like, I expect him to have one hell of a year. And if it's starting there, if you're starting at those 2 edge rushers, giving you what I'm expecting from them, then yes, this defense will be great. They're still relatively young in the secondary, and that's the question mark. I mean, obviously, they're one of the best run defenses in the league. They always will be. Not only because of the scheme, because of Todd Bowles' scheme, but because they probably have the best nose tackle in football in Vita Vea. Akeem Hicks helps them tremendously. Golston is the most underrated interior player that nobody ever talks about. And then they got, great backups in Nunez Roches. So they have players. I think their interior defensive line is strong enough to always be good against the run, but it has to start on the edge for me for this defense to be good. And then back to my other point, they're young in the secondary. They got to step up, man. Sean Murphy-Bunting, Jamel Dean, those guys got to play to a different level. And if Carlton Davis can turn, what has been a pretty steady and solid start to his career into the next level, start taking the ball away, so to speak, then they're going to be great. Because Antoine Winfield's great. He's a great player, man. They're going to move him around. He'll play a bunch of nickel this year. They want to get tougher in there so he can do just about everything. So I'm excited. I'm just like you, JP. I think this is the year they take off.
Yeah, I was going to ask about Antoine Winfield because we know he's making that move to nickel, which obviously is the position that you mastered back in the defense you played in. How difficult is that really to be a safety and to move to nickel? I guess 2 years into your career here.
Yeah, I guess the best comparison to what he'll be like is what Tyrann Mathieu was for Arizona, and then Houston and wherever else he's been. So Kansas City now. Nickel safeties are pretty rare, although they're becoming more and more popular because these safeties nowadays are like Antoine Winfield. They look the part of a nickel. It's funny because corners in this league are getting huge. Right? They're like they're 6 and up since the start. Like I would have had one position to play. I could have only played nickel in today's NFL because they wouldn't have drafted me to play outside. But at the same time, safeties are getting smaller. It's funny because they want them to be more versatile and be able to run around in the box and be able to penetrate the line of scrimmage and pressures and to cover. And so that's what Antoine Winfield can do. And also provide, that mentality, that safety mentality, that toughness in there. So is it difficult? Yeah. I mean, to learn it is, but if there's a guy that can do it, it's him. I think he's shown that. pretty much all preseason and during the OTAs and mini camps, that he'll be able to stand up. If there's one question for me about him is, can he play on the line of scrimmage, bump and run man to man? It's just not something he's done a lot of. It'll be something he'll have to work on and get better at, because trust me, inside there playing man to man is a lot different than what corners do on the outside and safeties covering tight ends. He'll be on receivers. So that'll be his toughest job, I think.
Rondé Barber joining us here. I got to ask you about, what in most places would be a huge, seismic shift, a coaching change. But here it's almost a ripple, because nothing really has changed for the most part. But there's nuances that I'm sure you notice, and there's going to be a different manager to the game, and that's Todd Bowles. Where do you see Bruce Arians' role in all of this? And, is he going to be helping out and managing the game? Is there going to be any difference? Can it be, different in terms of more run-centric offense that most defensive coordinators love? Obviously, go back to Tony Dungy. They love that running game, right? Keep their team off the field. So what do you see the differences, if any?
It'll be a difference in the way they manage games for sure. I think there'll be certain games where you'll see his influence. Now, BA told us the other day on the preseason game, and I've talked to him a bunch during the offseason, he's not trying to be involved in the game plan. I mean, obviously he has eyes on it. He'll help with personnel. He's more in line with helping Jason Light, the general manager, than he is with helping Todd Bowles, the new head coach. I think he's giving it to Todd. Todd has great coordinators, and Byron Leftwich. He promoted Casey Rogers and Larry Foote to be coordinators. He'll still call the defense. He was very good special teams coordinator, and Keith Armstrong. I think this is a divide and conquer type of team. It's just the way that it's set up, because you have a defensive head coach that's still calling defenses. You're going to let Byron do his job, right? He's got Harold Goodwin up on as the offensive line coach and co-offensive coordinator. Those guys can do their job. So I don't think BA will be involved at all in the operation of the what's on the field. But in reality, Todd's a different coach than Bruce. Bruce is a little more let guys do their job. Todd's more of a, I'm going to make you do your job. Yep. Right. And it's like an attitude. There's a different attitude. There's a different focus or emphasis on accountability with Todd. It's just his personality. It's who he's always been. That's why he's a good coordinator. He demands certain things of players and situations, and he's going to force his will on them. And that's what I like about Todd. And there'll be games, though. You'll see. They're going to need to bludgeon somebody and run the hell out of the ball, put the ball to number 7, Lenny, and just let them run over people. You're going to see more of that this year than we've seen in the past, and that's going to be reflective of the head coach. Most good teams, I've said this for years, JP, you hear me say it all the time, most good teams, at least the ones that win championships, assume the personality of the head coach, and it's seamless. So I hope that's the case here.
In running the football, I think, and you can talk to this, is I think it was something that was missing last year. And when you need to run the football, you got to be able to run the football, right? When teams are saying, we dare you, and then you go to it and you're not doing it very well, you're kind of effed at that point, right? It's like, okay, you're one-dimensional. They know it. And I think we kind of saw that in the Rams game a little bit. So is there a feeling that we have to be a little bit more versatile on offense and be able to answer when teams dare us to run the football?
Yeah, it's kind of hard, though, when you have number 12 at quarterback. And you all right, a little 2-yard hitch or a 5-yard pass is just as good as turning around and handing the ball off. And especially as well as our offensive line played in pass protection last year, it was hard to justify the manner in which they were playing football. They throw the ball 40 times a game, and his arm held up to throwing the ball 40 times a game. Now, is that ideal? No. I mean, in an ideal world, to me, you run the football to balance out the game. You help your defense, right? You take time off the clock. You control the clock, I guess is a better way to say it. You control the tempo of the game. You control possessions because there's a finite number of possessions in every football game. People feel like these games are 60 minutes. There's all these possessions. There's really not. There's only about 7 per team. And the longer you control the clock, running the football, keeping the chains moving, everything else, the better you are as a team. To me, that's the complementary football that everybody talks about. And we can do a little bit better job of that if we are able to run the ball and take more time off the clock and not feel like we have to put up 35 points every game. to win and allow our pass defense. This is correlated, right? Allow our pass defense to take a break every now and then, because almost every game, their teams are chasing us, right? Because we score points, they're chasing us. So I got to check the stats on this. I think I had them right last year, but I think they faced the most number of pass attempts last year. It was their top 2 or something, and that's because of the way that we play offense. Because the defense is always on the field after offense scores, and the other team's chasing us.
Yeah. We haven't really talked about Tom on the field, and so I want to get to that. Now, I'll kind of go a 40,000-foot question here, because you played against Tom way back when. And now you've watched him up close, so you've got even probably a better understanding of why he's the best to ever do it. So now this perspective of you after you've played, now watched and been an analyst, what makes Tom Brady special? What are those things? And how does that work in this year?
Besides the way that let's discount the way that he takes care of himself. Working with Alex Guerrero, the guy is a miracle worker. He works with other guys on the team now, which is what he did in New England too. His body is so well kept that he's still able to do this, right? Because he's 45 years old. You shouldn't be able to do what he's doing. And by that, I mean, when you watch the way that he moves in practice or in games, the crispness of his mechanisms, they haven't broken down at all since I played him 10 years ago, right? It's just, it's the same. In fact, it might even be more. It might be even more so efficient. And so when you see him throw the ball, there's zero velocity change. I mean, I remember talking last year to Alex about them working in the offseason, and he told me that Tom goes out to wherever he goes in Montana, and they work on RPMs, just the speed of the ball. And if he can hit the certain number, he's playing again. When he can't hit that number, he's not going to play anymore. That's basically I can't throw my fastball anymore. He still has his fastball. So when I watch him down practicing or watching replays of games or put on the film and watch the games, you see that. You see how technically sound he is, and how crisp everything is in his operation. Now, that being said, what makes him the best is his ability to look at something in front of him, whether it's close hole safety, so there's a safety in the middle of the field, or open, and diagnose whether it's 3, whether they're trying to fool him, whether it's 4, whether it's 2, and then it's just so succinct how he goes through his progressions. Boom, 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 bam. And you're just like, wow, like nobody does it like that. Drew Brees was like that a little bit, and his looks so mechanical. Like Tom is just like sits back there, he's comfortable, he's like barely moving his head, and then pops the ball right where he's supposed to be. That's why he's the best, because he's physically excellent shape, and he's mentally always in excellent shape. And I've never seen anybody do it like him.
That pre-snap stuff is just off the charts, and that's why he gets rid of it so quick. He already knows where the ball's going.
Well, opposed to a guy like Aaron Rodgers, who's 2-time league MVP, probably shouldn't have been last year. I mean, come on, man. But 2-time league MVP who can always create on the move because of that ridiculous arm strength or whatever he has on his arm. I don't know how he throws half of those passes without having his feet set. But that's what makes Aaron Rodgers great. Tom can't do that. Right. Tom's not moving out of the pocket or scrambling for 2 or 3 yards, even though he claims he's a runner now because he had a 12-yard run last year. But the reality is he does it all within the confines of a pocket. And that's what makes him different than some of these other guys, than like the Mahomes or the Josh Allens or all these other great young quarterbacks, or somewhat aging quarterbacks in Aaron Rodgers' case. Their ability to do that makes them different. His ability to do what he does makes him just, to me, special, because not a lot of guys can do that.
The last football question before we get to your Valspar life there as the chairman of Valspar. A lot of things going on, PJ. What about the game do you still like, and how has the game changed, not only just in the rules and the way it's played, but the players that are playing it? I mean, you're getting to be an older statesman now. Can you go back and I miss this and I miss that? The state of the game vis-a-vis Rondé Barber's perception.
Right. Yeah. I think the easiest way to answer that is I miss the simplicity of the game. back when I was playing, it was more. It's still about the players, but it was more about, getting things right and simple. We only played 4 or 5 defenses, man, every week, maybe 6. Now you look at Todd's playbook. I mean, he has 35 different calls every single game. It's unbelievable the type of learning that these guys have to do now. And the game has certainly changed in that way. And it's the same way on offense. There's much more complexities to the offensive game now, even though ultimately it all ends up being the same. There's only certain route combinations you can run, right? There's only so many ways you can move X's and O's on a board. Same way on defense, but they do it in so many different ways. I could spend 20 minutes showing you the 15 different ways that Todd Bowles runs Tampa cover 2. Just our simple one-way defense, he runs it about 15 different ways. And you're like, oh my God, man, you got to teach down linemen how to be a middle run-through guy or a seam dropper. You got to teach that corner how to really be the edge of a defense. It's just like, it's crazy how much learning they have to do. But that's the way that the league is. You're trying to create, I guess, confusion is probably the best way to describe it. And offenses have had to match. The way the quarterbacks run these days, they didn't run like that back in the day. We had like 2. We had like 2 of them. We had to deal with Michael Vick. Right. Deal with maybe one other throughout the course of the year. Now, man, it started in high school, it moved to college, it is progressively in the NFL. We saw last week. God, that preseason game. I mean, Malik Willis. I don't know if he'll ever be a great quarterback in this league. But damn it, he can run, man.
You would hate to play against these guys. I know you would.
So there's some changes, but it was a much simpler time back in the day.
You just play football and you could hit the quarterback. Not anymore. All right, so lots of changes in the PGA world, especially yesterday. You were the chairman of the Valspar Championship and also a hell of a golfer yourself. Very involved in this. Is our Valspar going to be okay after this onslaught by Live Golf?
Yeah, well, I think we have the best product on the planet still. I mean, Live Golf is what it is. It's a guys leaving for a lot of money playing exhibition like golf. I mean, it's what it feels like to me. I mean, I'm not an expert on the tournament golf, but I know what our event is. I know what the other events like ours are. The Live Golf is definitely an existential threat just because it's pulling some of the best players in the world. But my contention has always been with my board and with Tracy West, our tournament director, there's going to be 144 guys that show up for our event. And the one thing that I think hopefully separates us from some of the other events out there is that we are an event. We're not just a golf tournament. I mean, we put on a Saturday concert. We have the best build year over year that I've ever been a part of. It just gets more and more entertaining options for us on the golf week, on our tournament week. It starts Sunday prior and it ends when the final putt goes in the hole the next Sunday. And that's a lot. That's what makes us, I think, unique. Very similar to Waste Management. We're not Waste Management. We're not nearly that big, but we have events throughout the whole week to try to make it more than just a golf tournament. Now that being said, the PGA Tour is changing. The PIP, Player Impact Program, just went up went up from $50 to $1 million. Right, that's a lot of money. Yeah, that's a lot of money to go into even more players' pockets. That helps stem the tide, hopefully, of guys leaving. They're guaranteeing salaries, which I've been saying for years. Every other sport has guaranteed salaries, right? If you make the league, NFL or the NBA or Major League Baseball, you have a guaranteed salary or a signing bonus or something. I think they finally got that part of it right. They're guaranteeing a baseline for those guys. And then the elevated events. And so if you're asking me, JP, about our event and how all this is turning around and affecting the Valspar Championship, this is it. Because Live obviously guaranteed $25 million purses for every one of their events. And to be honest with you, unless the PGA Tour gives up their 501c designation, they can't get outside investment because then it's no longer charity dollars. They have to take investment dollars. That's the only way we can reach that number. But now they've started to elevate events. So there was already elevated events like the Genesis. API was an elevated event. Arnold Palmer Jack's event, the Memorial, was an elevated event. They further elevated 4 more prior to yesterday. And that put a lot of strain on us, or at least it potentially put a lot of strain on us, because we're not a $20 million event. We're a $9 million, $10 million purse type of event. And obviously, where are you going to go play? You're going to go play for 20? You're going to go play for half of that somewhere else. Now, yesterday, they made an announcement they're going to elevate 4 more events. I mean, we don't know if we're going to be one of those. Obviously, we'd like to be.
Right.
That might necessitate some changes for us. But at the end of the day, we're going to put on a great tournament. And I think committing these guys to having to play those 17 events plus 3 more. So the best players on the PGA Tour are going to be guaranteed have to play 20 events during the year. That helps. That helps all of us, all of these tournaments on the PGA Tour.
And Rondé, what do you think about what Tiger is doing and Rory? They just came up with this virtual team thing. I'm not sure I understand how the whole thing's going to work, but I like it. I don't know. I just think it looks cool. I can see you being involved in this and bringing in celebrities who can play golf like you, scratch golf you are.
You keep saying this. Is that because you're trying to get me to give you strokes next time we play?
Of course. I'm already working on it.
I'm pretty sure you beat me the last time we played.
No, that is not
sure.
No.
I don't even understand it. I read it the other day. It's partnering with the PGA Tour in some way or fashion. I don't care what it is. I like it. I'll be part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, partner, I really appreciate your time as always. I think it's happening this year, right? So we can make time out for Canton the next trip, right? You're going, right?
So. Let's hope. Yeah. I'd love to entertain you in Canton, Ohio.
Well, I can't wait. It's such a beautiful place. It will be the day you get inducted, and I cannot wait for that. Listen, thanks for your time. Thanks for your friendship. Look forward to seeing you again soon on the golf course. Because now, Nick played with me yesterday. I was horrible, and I mean, Shankopotamus is my new nickname. So now's your time to get back into my pocket because you need it.
I see you lowering the bar just so you can hustle me. It's all good.
All right. Thanks, partner. Appreciate your time as always.
Take care.
All right. The great Rondé Barber right there. No, I think we're going to see Brady this week, looks like, which now we can make time to look forward to that game. Well, hell, the FSU game will just be ending. So I can turn on the TV while I'm up in Tallahassee.
Hopefully a victory, please.
Oh, God,
stop. Let's not get any.
Stop. Yeah, we're going to hopefully hit 70 points.
70 points.
Yeah.
This isn't the 2013 team. We're not putting up 84 in Idaho here.
Yeah. Why not? Let's go out.
They might put up like 35.
Yeah. Any takeaways from Rondé? This guy has so much to talk about there that he to put out on the table. He certainly doesn't seem concerned about the offensive line as much as everybody else.
No, and I don't think there really is that big of a reason to. I think again that's typical. We need something to talk about with 15 days, whatever it is, to the regular season begins. It's Tom Brady's team. What drama can we stir up? Yeah. I think that's the baseline of that. They did it.
There really are no other weaknesses on this team.
No, and he covered all the bases there. And I love his breakdown of Antoine Winfield, which I really wanted. I was interested to know that based on what we heard from Antoine himself yesterday. Mm-hmm. I like to think a phone call will probably be coming.
Yes, that's
way.
coming. Yeah, absolutely.
That's coming because I do see similarities in their game.
Yeah. I think Antoine mentioned yesterday that they haven't really talked, but I guarantee you that's going to be part of his film study during the week because their position is so similar.
And also the big fascinating thing there was, I think your last question or before we got to the Valspar talk was how the game has changed. And, he used the word simple to describe how it was. And it's crazy because you watch football from back then, now in replay, and it does look like it's so much more simple than it is now. And the fact that, he was making my head spin when he said, 35 different play combinations and he had like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Again, and that's in a span of 20 years that it's changed that much and it's not going away. And I think that's a byproduct of how good the receivers are nowadays, the quarterbacks are. There's so many more talented guys on the offense that I feel like the defenses, that's why they have to do probably 30 different type of route combinations.
Absolutely. They're just meeting it. In some ways, that takes away just the pure athleticism and the football's a violent game. it's not as violent as it once was. That's a good thing and it's a bad thing. I don't think it's entertaining in some ways because let's just be honest, we love our gladiator sports, right? But it is a more cerebral game. It's a little bit more wide open game. You know, I said this, and Rondé and I had these conversations 7-8 years ago as we were watching the colleges, as he mentioned, with high school, college. You know, the colleges just weren't producing drop back quarterbacks anymore, so they were going to have to go to this more open, entertaining style. And I'm for it. I love it. I think we may have gone a little bit too far, you know, in too techno, Madden. X button, whatever the hell you want to call it. But I do miss a little bit of the simplicity and the ferocity of the game. I think that's been taken away.
I mean, and there's that famous clip, I'm sure you've seen it, when I think it was the 2002 season, actually. It was the first time the Bucs were playing Vic, I think. And they were watching his film study. And I think it was the week prior against Minnesota when he had that crazy run in overtime. I recall.
Yes.
And Rondé and Lynch and Simeon were all doing film study. And they were like, oh my gosh, how are we going to stop this guy?
Yeah.
Which, by the way, they did. But the point is, like he said, that was the only guy that was doing that back then.
Yeah.
And now you have not only everybody doing it, but the best guy that does it is probably Josh Allen. And look how big he is.
And look how he can throw the football.
And look how he throw the football.
Yeah. I mean, unbelievable combinations now what we're seeing in the quarterback position, and it's revolutionized the game. And I love it. I love watching.
The game is as good to watch now as it's ever been.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. By the way, Rondé was just texting me that he forgot to mention that ticket sales go on sale in November now for the Valspar. And that's important because if you want like the Hooters tent, that sells out. Any of the really good hospitality sells out really, really quickly. So, so when the November sales come up, and we'll let you guys know about it, we'll put it up on our social media. But when it starts, they're always an advertiser of ours. So we'll be, advertising where you can get those tickets, ValsparChampionship.com. Go get them. And they'll start in November. So get them early, buy them for Christmas gifts, whatever, because they do sell out. And is the field going to be as good? I mean, you look at the schedule, there's, you can make the case that it's going to be because all the players are going to be in Florida. They're all going to be here. Mm-hmm. And it might be an elevated event. It might not be an elevated event, but it's still going to be a PGA Tour event where you're playing for $10 million. We're going to get a great field because of the way they run the tournament. Guys love playing here. It's a great prep for the Masters. None of that changes. So I still think we're going to get a great field. And as Rondé says, it's an event. I mean, it's not just a golf tournament anymore. I mean, it's a freaking social event. Everybody goes now. And that's not going to stop. So,
yeah, I know this year I need to get myself some hospitality. I need to be somewhere.
We got you covered.
Because I am tired of mucking around and sweating my butt off and all this stuff. I need to be in some kind of tent.
You got to have hospitality. No question about it. Even though the weather is great in March, it's fantastic. It's even better when you're in a tent drinking margaritas. It's even better. So we'll let you know when that happens. And all right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to kind of digest a little bit of what Rondé said, talk some more Buccaneers. Scotty Miller talked yesterday. Byron Leftwich talked yesterday. So we're going to listen to that as well. And we'll get into the Rays as well. Big extra inning win last night for the Rays. Shane McClanahan was just phenomenal. Is he the best left-hander in the game? Have to say yes. So we'll talk some Rays as well. Stay with us.
Let me tell you about Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Are you experiencing low sex drive, fatigue, hot flashes, moodiness, and you just don't feel like you have the vitality you once had? You're not just getting old, it's likely low testosterone. Studies over the last 20 years show a shocking decline in younger males aged 16 to 39. Older men have seen a sharp decline as well. Do something about it. Go see my friend Christopher Lugo at Bay Area Modern Medicine. Testosterone replacement is not a frivolous treatment. It takes a professional targeted approach that focuses on total body wellness, vitality, and emotional stability. Not a one-size-fits-all approach like many clinics use. They will monitor your blood work and adjust your treatment as needed for optimal results. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling.
Military veterans, are you struggling with alcoholism or substance abuse? Is it taking a toll on your relationships and your work life? Are you having trouble focusing, constantly anxious? Well, you may not be surprised to know that your fellow military vets have your six. Heroes Mile is a new concept in rehabilitation clinics, veterans helping veterans. At Heroes Mile, we staff our rehab center with fellow veterans who can understand what you're going through. Our mission is to help you heal from issues that only your fellow veterans can truly understand. Located just outside of DeLand, we offer a full range of inpatient and outpatient programs dealing with substance abuse, post-traumatic stress, and military sexual trauma. We choose to serve veterans because we know how complex these issues are. You could choose to fight the battle alone or win the war together. We are the community care provider with the VA and also accept most major insurance. At Heroes Mile Rehabilitation Center, we have your six. Go to heroesmile.com or call 888-VET-NOW-2. That's heroesmile.com or call 888-VET-NOW-2. Attention, if you are home shopping or looking for a refinance, and even if you already have the approval letter, you must call my man Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. Scott has a brand new program available in the greater Tampa Bay area called the Community Advantage Loan Program. Get this, no money down, no mortgage insurance, no points, no origination fee, purchase or refinance, and loan amounts up to $647,000. Now, there are some application requirements. It must be a single-family home, 1 unit, primary residence, and have a minimum 640 credit score. The program only applies to certain neighborhoods, so you have to call to find out if you qualify. So call Scott Fitzgerald at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Now, even if you don't qualify for that program, Scott will shop your loan around, get you the best rates, and won't charge you the huge upfront fees. And if you've had issues with your bank calling you back, Scott will return calls immediately or at least the same day. 813-294-7595 or email him, scott@amstampa.com. Scott Fitzgerald, MLS 386722, American Mortgage Services, 1000 North Ashley Drive, Suite 1020, Tampa, Florida.
Coming back at you. Now, more with JP on FanStream Sports. It's only just begun.
All right. Welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by Emerging Investigations at emerginginv.com. If you are in need of a private investigator, they are the folks. They are a tremendous group of professionals who have great experience in finding out the most important things and getting you verified information for the biggest decisions in your life. If you think your spouse is cheating or hiding money in a divorce settlement, or you're looking for a missing person, insurance fraud is something else they do a lot of, finding missing people. Those are a lot of the things that they do over at Emerging Investigations. Very experienced. So give them a call. Just go to emerginginv.com. That's the best way to do it. emerginginv.com. And the call is free. So if you just think you want to find out what it's going to cost, what's involved, obviously these things are very personal decisions and intimate conversations. So give them a call. Very easy to talk to. You've heard Rachel on the show. She'll be coming on Friday as well. And they're just a very approachable group of people, and they can take you through the process and tell you what it's going to take and what the process is. Don't try to do it yourself. I know folks snoop around social media, put GPS trackers on. Don't do that. You just get professionals to do this stuff for you so you have verifiable information. So go to emerginginv.com. Give them a call. It's a free call, and find out if there's something they can help you with at Emerging Investigations. All right, we're going to get into the Rays here. Big win last night in extra innings. They tried to blow it. They tried to blow it a couple times. Taylor Walls, as we were talking about him so glowingly yesterday and how his defense has become so much more consistent. He makes a critical error in the 10th inning to allow the go-ahead run to score. Itzhak Paredes was playing first base in that situation. When you're in extra innings in kind of defensive mode, and, you know, we love Itzhak Paredes, but he's not a natural first baseman. And it was a scoop play with a runner on third in the extra innings. The ghost runner moved over. It's a simple play. He's got to be able to scoop that, and Taylor Walls has got to make a better throw. But the best thing about this team is what they always do. They've clawed back. They got that extra run back. And then Barrel Ramirez, I think we're calling him now, because he's barreling up everything since he came back. 8 games back.
I mean,
yeah.
So many things to call him.
Yeah, I mean, he's raking. 8-game hit streak since he came back, and he had the biggest hit of the night, scored the tying run, set up the winning run in the 11th inning, and they get a big 4-3 win. And now they're entrenched as that wild card 7.5 behind the idle Yankees. Could have been 5.5. If it was 5.5, now you're like their sphincter's getting a little tighter. 7.5 is still pretty wide lead at this point of the season, but big win last night.
A wild one is the way I've described it, because that game was so unpredictable at the end, just the ebbs and flows. I mean, thinking that they were not going to score a run all night to finally getting some runs across, thinking they had this in the bag. Yeah, I mean, you see Jason Adam come in the game. He's been locked down. And, hey, I mean, Mike Trout is – I don't know if he's still the greatest player on the planet, but damn if he doesn't have moments where he still looks like it. I mean, it starts with – I don't know how in the world he hit that pitch that almost bounced – and he got the barrel on it somehow and poked it out.
Yeah, if you didn't see it, it was a breaking ball down and away, which he was going down the block. It was going to be in the dirt, and it was probably about 6 inches off the ground on the outside part of the plate, and he reached out and barreled it up and hit it into left field. How the F do you do that?
I'm amazed. Every time you see this guy, you're amazed. And then he hits the home run off Jason Adam, who hadn't allowed a home run in a very, very long time before that. And the Rays, I mean, I think everybody points to Taylor Walls on that play. And I mean, I know that he kind of like short-armed it, but to me, it's like that's one of the easier bounces I think you're going to get as a first baseman.
It's an easy scoop.
It's an easy scoop.
Scoop.
And we let it slide in the end because it's like his fate had it. Those two guys came up to kind of redeem themselves, and they did.
Taylor Walls got the sac fly. Yeah, it was a great comeback win. But, man, if you're Shane McClanahan, who was – and he struck out Ohtani and Trout twice, back to back, and with some, he is unhittable right now. He's unhittable. He's got this fastball that's riding in on lefties like 98, 99, sometimes hit 100.
He blew Trout away on 100, rising.
Yeah.
I mean, fastballs aren't supposed to move like that are going 100.
And he's still got the fastest hands in the game. And you beat Trout that way, and then he throws that freaking changeup. Yeah. That changeup looks exactly like a fastball, and you're geared up for it, and it's got about 10 miles an hour difference, and it tails away and down. It's unhittable. That pitch is freaking unhittable, and that's why 9 strikeouts in 6 innings. But again, what was the stat? You had 17 runs they've scored for him while he's been on the mound.
This is now 6 starts since the All-Star break, and the Rays have only been able to scratch across 17 runs in those games with him out there. And yesterday they gave him zero runs of run support. And the Rays were 1-4 in those games, so now they improved to 2-4 in those games. But I think for Shane McClanahan, we're no longer talking about the velocity because that's fine. And this was his best start since the All-Star break, no doubt about it. This looked like the Cy Young version of Shane McClanahan, who's probably going to make a nice push for it now as we get into September, by the way. But more importantly, I just look at the Rays pitching. I mean, look at the numbers over the past 20 games or so. It's the starting pitching. Every single starter has put together a string of fantastic outings in the last week or so here. The bullpen's been great. 13 games over 500, which I believe is their high mark this year.
Absolutely.
They continue to gain ground on the Yankees slowly but surely. But more importantly than that, I mean, you're in the first wild card spot now. So that still means a lot, honestly.
Yeah. And Jose Siri contributed last night. The guy can't hit a lick, but he did what he did. He does best.
Sometimes he can.
They used him as a pinch runner, and he steals on the first pitch to second. And that dude is just lightning quick, and he's really good at stealing bases. Then he gets over to third on a contact play and comes home on a contact play that was a very sharply hit ball, and the infield was in. They still couldn't get him at the plate. And for the Rays to be able to manufacture a run in that situation is something they haven't been able to do. And that's a nice weapon to have right there.
Yeah. And here was the call here via Bally's last night of Jose Siri.
It's on third.
And a hard hit ground ball second. Throw to the plate, not going to be in time. Wow. Siri's speed beat the play to the plate, and this game is tied.
I love the emotion right after by Jose Siri. Yeah. He seems like one of those guys that fits in with this culture here in that clubhouse. And I said it, he looks more and more like the Kevin Kiermaier clone day by day that they envision him being.
Brian Anderson made a great point that his fundamentals on that play were tremendous. He wasn't sideways. looking at the field, a lot of times you'll take a lead and you're kind of parallel to the base paths, to the baseline. He was actually almost in a sprinter's position with his hips already moving forward down the line. So when that ball was hit, he was off like a track star, and every moment count, because that was a hard hit ball, and normally normal humans don't score on that play because it was a good throw.
No, they don't. But he has wheels, and you're telling me that his form was better than Harold Ramirez's?
Yeah,
in the 11th inning.
No. Thank God that throw was off the mark, because he would have been out. But it was not, and they get the winning run. So do you have that one too?
Yeah. Listen.
Harold running the bases is not quite the maestro as he is at the plate.
Yeah.
And a chopper right side. There will be a play at the plate. The throw is bad, and the Rays win it. Ramirez scores the winning run. And in 11th, the Rays win this game 4-3.
That was Peralta, right? Got the
David Peralta, yes.
Yeah. Nice job by him. Just pulling the ball, doing what you got to do, get the ball on the ground, a little bit of a chopper. So the first baseman, Walsh, had to kind of go up and get it. And he hurried the throw, spiked it, and Ramirez he went past the plate and had to come back and touch it.
Look at the deadline acquisitions, man, coming through yesterday for the Rays.
We sat here and said they didn't do much, but Peralta's been good.
He's a major league hitter. I think that's the biggest thing. This isn't. That was the most important thing that I said, was it wasn't Luke Raley back there anymore. Now it's David Peralta instead of Luke Raley, Roman Quinn. It's a major league hitter who knows how to put the bat on the baseball, and that's what he did there.
So as you look at this team and the schedule down the road, we're talking this morning, they got a 5-game set in Toronto.
Yes.
And I think we're still dealing with the stupid ass vaccine deals. So I don't think the Rays will be at full strength in terms of their bullpen. Maybe.
I know Jason Adams. Is he one of them?
He might be.
It's a lot of the relievers.
We'll have to revisit that because that's going to be huge in terms of, because both of these teams are in it to win it. They're both in the mix, and the Rays may not be at full strength, and they're going up to Toronto, and that's going to be a tough series.
Yeah, and
spend the whole freaking week there.
And again, depending on what happens,
I think that's mid-September, is it?
Yeah, and depending what happens in the playoff situation, the worst case obviously is to have games in Toronto and not have your full roster.
Oh yeah, if you got to go back there.
And those are the things that I tell you. It's like, I understand the situation sucks and everything, but don't tell me if that happens and these players are not able to play, you're not going to be a little bit irritated about it.
At who? Not the players. Certainly not the players.
I would be irritated at both things.
No, not the players.
I would.
Hell no. Not knowing what we know now about it.
I guess I'm speaking selfishly as a fan and somebody who wants this team to do great. But if I get, again, I don't know if Jason Adams is one of the players. I feel like I remember, if my memory serves me correctly, he was. I'm not sure on that. If somebody out there knows, please let me know. I'll do some more research. But
the whole situation is silly. All right, we had some Kevin Cash from last night. There's a lot of things happened in this game. And again, he pushed all the right buttons again. We kind of gloss over that from game to game. It's kind of, managers are kind of like offensive linemen. When we talk about the decisions that they make, it's usually when they don't work out, and the hundreds of decisions that they make every game that do work out, we just kind of gloss over them because some of them are obvious. I mean, but you still got to give credit to the guy that has this team 13 games over quick, 500 with all these injuries.
Real quick before we play his sound too, another decisions that he's made. These are tough decisions. Have you noticed the lack of Brandon Lau in the lineup lately?
Yes.
And by the way, the Rays play at 1 today. He's not in the lineup again. So that's 3 out of the last 4 games this entire series. I know it's because they're just facing a lot of lefties, but it's Brandon Lau, right?
Yes.
And the fact that he has the confidence to not even put him in the lineup and say, no, we're still going to beat you. I mean, again, he's pushing the right buttons right now.
Yeah. I mean, yes, they're winning games. Sometimes it's ugly as hell. And last night was ugly. It was ugly in a lot of ways. And scoring no runs through 8 innings, but they get it done. Yep. They get it done time and time again.
All right, Kevin, a lot to get to in this one, but we'll start with the very end. David Peralta, the chopper, the ball gets away from the Angels. And just getting the ball in play and getting just a little bit lucky there at the end?
Yeah, contact helps a lot in those situations. You had a really good at bat, and the third base made a tremendous play. But David, we know we can give professional at bats, and we just needed contact. We got it chopped up high enough for Rammer to come by and slide past the plate, and then touch it.
And then Harold Ramirez tied it up twice again there at the end. What did you see from him today?
Just what we've seen since he's come back from the injury. A lot of really good at-bats, solid at-bats, has a good approach, and has picked us up in many, many ways.
And another key moment, Taylor Walls, he did make that error, but then kind of put it behind him quickly to tie the game up again.
Yeah, look, Isak and Taylor both, they did a nice job kind of bouncing back from that inning. Deep fly ball to get Frankie over, and then Walsey with another deep fly ball to get him in. So I know they were both frustrated, but I'll take Taylor Walls getting that play probably over any shortstop in baseball.
Just it seemed like a night where persistence.
Yeah. Mac, he was pretty awesome. Again, we just, their pitchers did a nice job too. And we just couldn't find a way to get him a run, get him a lead, anything. So I think our best chance might have come in the first inning maybe. And after that, Meyer got on a run, but the guys stayed at it. You gotta have some persistence in those tight games.
And you had to be probably surprised anyone to see Jason give up that homer.
No, not given who is.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't give a homer to right-hander right here, but
it is a little surprising. He's been so dominant that you just don't see guys take comfortable swings off of him, but you can appreciate who's swinging.
Pretty impressive to see Siri kind of create that run with the speed.
For me, that was a highlight of the game. I mean, if you're a fan, what else do you want to see? He pinch runs, he steals on the first pitch, and then the contact play. They did everything right. He was just better.
He just needs to get a little excited when he does stuff like that, right?
I was excited.
In the bullpen again.
Yeah, I mean, those are really tough situations. Really pumped for Shaggy. I mean, look, our bullpen, all of them, but Shaggy being the new guy kind of back, that's a big moment that you try not to put a guy in right when they come back, but gave up the hit for the run, and then after that really locked it down.
Yeah, just a great game for I won't say a great game, but a winning result for the Rays, and they look, they're doing what they have to do. They're beating the teams they should beat, and now they're going to embark on the toughest September schedule. And again, we said this yesterday, I'm not concerned about it because the Rays play their best baseball against these teams. They always rise to the occasion, and it's not going to be easy. I think they end the season with 9 straight road games, and that's probably going to determine whether they have a home field or not in the playoffs. So they could, potentially play 13 to 14 straight road games at the end of the year, which is, ridiculously horrible on anybody to do. But, hey, you got a shot. You got one of the lowest payrolls again in baseball. You've had 17 guys on the injured list, critical injuries the entire season long. And here you sit 13 games over 500 in control of the wild card, 7.5 games behind the Yankees. That's just insane.
Yeah,
it's insane.
And when you get to a playoff series, whereas last year we were not confident because we had all rookies, frankly, starting those games.
Yeah,
it's a different Shane McClanahan.
It's a way different story this year.
This is a different Drew Rasmussen. This is Corey Kluber, who is seasoned and has been in these moments before. Even Jeffrey Springs will probably be the new one, but he's going to have help probably. I'm not sure the Rays would ever let him go a game by himself. So I feel so much better this year than I do last year, even though last year's team may have been better on paper, winning 100 games.
All right, so we'll see what happens with the Rays. They play today, right? 1:00. Brandon Lau's not in the lineup today, but he'll certainly get some at bats probably later in the game. Who we got going today?
Well, we have Rasmussen.
Is that Rasmussen?
So we can get the no hit starts keep going.
So we've had he's gone 8 perfect.
He went 3 perfect.
That's right.
8 perfect.
Then 8 perfect.
5 perfect.
Then 5 no hit.
Yeah.
What you got this time, Drew? What you got, Uncle Drew? Let's see what Big Red's got in store for us today. All right, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we got breaking news in the tennis world regarding the U.S. Open. We'll get to that. We got some college football news, another major retirement that affects the Bucs. We'll tell you about that, so stay with us. JP here for Emergency Emerging Investigations, Tampa Bay's premier investigation agency. Do you suspect your spouse is cheating or involved in a divorce, that your spouse is hiding money, an ex-employee or current employee with suspicious behavior? Is there a criminal matter you need help with? If you need information you can count on, using the professionals at Emerging Investigations is a slam dunk. Emerging Investigations is a licensed and insured private investigation agency, family-owned. Emerging is your ideal resource to secure evidence and validation, allowing you to make informed decisions in life's biggest matters. Led by industry executive Brian D'Antonio, Emerging possesses the experience and resources to get needed results. Emerging Investigations maintains an excellent reputation as a premier investigation agency. They are known for results. You're not just hiring a PI, but an organized, dedicated team using state-of-the-art technology. Their proven investigative methods produce crucial information used in criminal cases, insurance fraud, and personal injury claims. Many local attorneys, industry agencies, and your concerned neighbors all count on Emerging Investigations. Just go to their website, emerginginv.com, or call 813-291-FACT. That's 813-291-FACT-3228. Get results you can trust in life's biggest matters. Emerging Investigations. Now is the time to make sure your home insurance is in order. In the last year, many of us have made improvements to our homes. So call the folks at Italiano and discuss these upgrades to make sure you have enough coverage. According to a recent report, almost 64% of homeowners don't have enough insurance on their home, which is their most valuable asset. Also, a great time to make sure you have flood insurance. Even if your mortgage company does not require flood insurance, your home could still be at flood risk. Another big item as we enter hurricane season is making sure your pool enclosure is added to your policy and there will be no issue at claim time. That happens a lot. So call your friendly agent at Italiano Insurance to review your policies today. 813-877-7799 or ItalianoInsurance.com.
Hey guys, Serena Fazan here for the Golden Diamond Source. Are you looking for the hottest trends in men's jewelry? Ladies love to see men spice it up with something cool from the Golden Diamond Source. Whether you're looking for a gold chain, fashion rings, even a pre-owned Rolex watch, or thinking about getting engaged, there's only one place to go. Go see my friends, Julie and Steve Weintraub at the Golden Diamond Source for your one-stop jewelry supercenter. It's never been more important to shop local and support the businesses that support our amazing Tampa Bay community. None better than the great folks at the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Ulmerton Road, or online at goldendiamond.com.
Attention, if you are home shopping or looking for a refinance, and even if you already have the approval letter, you must call my man Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. Scott has a brand new program available in the greater Tampa Bay area called the Community Advantage Loan Program. Get this, no money down, no mortgage insurance, no points, no origination fee, purchase or refinance, and loan amounts up to $647,000. Now, there are some application requirements. It must be a single-family home, one unit, primary residence, and have a minimum 640 credit score. The program only applies to certain neighborhoods, so you have to call to find out if you qualify. So call Scott Fitzgerald at 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com. Now, even if you don't qualify for that program, Scott will shop your loan around, get you the best rates, and won't charge you the huge upfront fees. And if you've had issues with your bank calling you back, Scott will return calls immediately, or at least the same day. 813-294-7595 or email him, scott@amstampa.com. Scott Fitzgerald, MLS 386722, American Mortgage Services, 1000 North Ashley Drive, Suite 1020, Tampa, Florida. Military veterans, are you struggling with alcoholism or substance abuse? Is it taking a toll on your relationships and your work life? Are you having trouble focusing, constantly anxious? Well, you may not be surprised to know that your fellow military vets have your six. Heroes Mile is a new concept in rehabilitation clinics, veterans helping veterans. At Heroes Mile, we staff our rehab center with fellow veterans who can understand what you're going through. Our mission is to help you heal from issues that only your fellow veterans can truly understand. Located just outside of DeLand, we offer a full range of inpatient and outpatient programs dealing with substance abuse, post-traumatic stress, and military sexual trauma. We choose to serve veterans because we know how complex these issues are. You could choose to fight the battle alone or win the war together. We are the community care provider with the VA and also accept most major insurance. At Heroes Mile Rehabilitation Center, we have your six. Go to heroesmile.com or call 888-VET-NOW-2. That's heroesmile.com or call 888-VET-NOW-2.
Guys, let me tell you about Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Are you experiencing low sex drive, fatigue, hot flashes, moodiness, and you just don't feel like you have the vitality you once had? You're not just getting old, it's likely low testosterone. Studies over the last 20 years show a shocking decline in younger males aged 16 to 39. Older men have seen a sharp decline as well. Do something about it. Go see my friend Christopher Lugo at Bay Area Modern Medicine. Testosterone replacement is not a frivolous treatment. It takes a professional, targeted approach that focuses on total body wellness, vitality, and emotional stability. Not a one-size-fits-all approach like many clinics use. They will monitor your blood work and adjust your treatment as needed for optimal results. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's rock. This is FanStream Sports with JP.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by Bay Area Modern Medical Center here in our second hour and Emerging Investigations, emerginginv.com. A couple of interesting notes we got to get to here. J.C. Tretter, who I've been talking about for quite some time, hoping the Bucs would sign him, has retired from football. He's made the decision that he'll continue on as the NFL PA president, but as of right now, does not want to play football anymore. 31 years of age, he's ending it, as he said, on his terms. So that will not be at least an option right now for your Tampa Bay Buccaneers if they were interested in going out and adding a veteran. There's still maybe a couple other options out there, and we'll see what the Bucs do after this preseason game as they take on Indianapolis on Saturday night at 7:30 on News Channel 8. You can see Rondé Barber and Chris Myers and Dan Lucas and crew. And I think we're going to see Brady. We had Rondé on in the first hour. In case you missed that, you can always go back and check it out on our app or on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. And he said that doesn't know yet, but expecting Brady to play a couple of series because he's done it in the past. And we'll see, hopefully, the whole group out there in a dress rehearsal for Dallas. By the way, Dallas lost Tyron Smith, their big left tackle, for the season. He has torn the hamstring off the bone. Whew. So the Dallas game, which, I think right now when you look at this Dallas team compared to the one of last year, it's a totally different team. And they're going to be very, very much reliant on Dak Prescott and now an offensive line that's just not very good.
Yeah, recall Lael Collins is no longer there. They let him walk to Cincinnati. So both your tackles are no longer there.
That's what happens when you're paying Zeke ridiculous amounts of money. You're paying Dak ridiculous amounts of money. They just have not done a great job managing their salary cap and have lost a lot of good players. And the offensive line, when the Cowboys have been good, their offensive line has been one of the better ones in football, and that's just not the case anymore.
Yeah, and
I think what are the Bucs, like 3-point favorites in that game? I think they're gonna blow them out.
The theme of Tyron Smith's impact there is they're just not as good, not nearly as good as running the ball.
Yeah,
I think
a full yard below.
I think is what was said today. With Tyron Smith in there or not in there, and the backup is their first round pick. I believe it's Tyler Smith, who's a left tackle out of Tulsa. So welcome to the NFL, kid.
Yeah,
first game against the Bucs, and you get Shaq Barrett
and Akeem Hicks,
and you weren't ready for it.
And
by
Joe
the way.
Tryon.
How many first team reps has that guy taken?
No, and they're going to throw the kitchen sink at him.
Oh yeah, Todd Bowles is salivating right now.
Yeah, the entire Bucs defense is. Yeah. I can't. I'm really excited. I'll be going to that game and that play. Have you been to Jerry World?
I have not, but it's
a massive stadium. It is a massive stadium, and it's got
it's a bucket list for sure.
Yeah, it's got so many different things. Last time I was there, I didn't get a chance to take in all of it for the FSU Oklahoma State game many moons ago. But I'm definitely gonna get there early and take it all in, give you guys some behind the scenes stuff in terms of social media and everything. And it'll be fun.
Yeah.
And look forward to that.
Of note, because I'm looking at it here. So First Take today is actually in Dallas.
Oh, they're at the Star.
And Stephen A., look at this video here. If you can see it on my laptop down here.
No,
rolled in a helicopter with one Jerry Jones.
Did he really?
To Dallas.
What? Let me see that video. Is that what is? Oh, that's the chopper.
That's the chopper, and there's Stephen A. They're live on First Take, and he's in the helicopter, and right next to him is Jerry Jones.
Jerry.
And they rolled right into Big D.
Yeah, I think we're actually planning on doing a show from that we'll put up on live on our YouTube from the Star. Pregame show from the Star on may do it Friday, may do it Sunday. Haven't really decided yet, but we'll let y'all know game week. So we'll have a little Dallas flavor for you for a little pregame show. It'll be fun. The Star, I've not been to the Star. I heard that it's just incredible. That's the Dallas Cowboys practice facility. They've got hotels there. They've got a big high school football stadium there, and it's just ridiculous. And nobody has capitalized more on being an NFL team than Jerry Jones. The way he has, he's come up with so many attached businesses to the brand of the Cowboys. I think that's why they were the first NFL team to be valued at $8 billion.
Yeah.
Holy heck. And by the way, the Bucs are one of the lower value teams because of
shocker.
I think probably because of the market size.
It's the market,
and they don't necessarily, well, they get all the revenue from the stadium, but they certainly haven't capitalized on it as maybe
they've bumped up a little bit with Brady here.
Oh God,
bumped up a little bit.
70 million, I think it was.
Yeah.
Was the estimate.
Which I don't know is that a little bit, or I don't know when we're talking billions with a B here.
Yeah, I mean it's incremental, but the amount of money that they've made off Brady is just ridiculous. Because I believe they sold, and why wouldn't they? By the way, 5-year, in order to get a luxury box for 21, you had to buy a 5-year commitment.
Yeah, and also too the merchandise, which I've never understood this. Every single year, Tom Brady leads the NFL jersey sales. At some point, who's still looking for a Tom Brady jersey? I understand.
Yeah, if you don't have one by now.
I understand the initial Buccaneers wave, right?
Mhm,
But this was like for 20 years as he was a Patriot. I was like, who in New England doesn't have one yet?
Right. Who in the world doesn't have one yet?
Right?
Yeah.
But he's always first. It's the same thing with LeBron in the NBA. How do you not? Who's looking for that now?
Yeah. If you want one, you have one.
Yeah.
If you don't want one, you're probably not getting one. Speaking of the NBA, a guy I was really looking forward to watching play, Chet Holmgren, out with a foot injury for the entire season, is not going to play. Yeah.
I mean, listen, we talked a lot about the NBA draft when that was going on because my Magic had the first overall pick, was fearing that they were going to take Chet Holmgren. Fearing for it.
Yeah.
And they finally made the right decision, in my opinion, and went with Paolo Banchero.
Well, and he played really, really well in the summer league.
Yeah, he did.
Chet Holmgren, he was eye-opening.
He did, but
but you looked at him and you went, he's so frail. He's so frail, and big guys have problems with their feet.
Listen, he hasn't even played a game yet, and he's already starting with right foot in. This is like the opposite of Zion in the fact that he's not as big as Zion, even nearly big, but he's already starting with the foot injuries.
Yeah.
Already starting with the foot injuries before he's played a game.
Yeah, that's what ended Sam Bowie's career before it started. Yeah. Big guys and foot injuries do not mix, and that's interesting because you see guys like Zion and Holmgren, and you're like, man, they're just when they're right, they're really super special. But you just look at them and you go, they're not going to be durable. I mean, you look at Zion and you go, he's just too heavy.
No,
he's just too heavy.
Look at the two best centers in the game are Nikola Jokic and Joel Embiid. Those guys got some. Especially Jokic. I know we make jokes about it.
Yeah,
but, no, the guy can move though.
They look proportional. Though.
They definitely
look proportional.
Yeah, they're filled out, and I kind of compare them to Jokic because they have similar type of games, really good passers.
Yeah.
But look how much bigger Jokic is than him.
Yeah.
Now. So concerns already for him.
All right, back to the Bucs. Brady missed practice. Well, didn't miss practice. Was held out of practice yesterday, which I can't tell. Does that tell us he's going to play or not? I think he's going to play.
He was back today.
Yeah, and I think I think as I've said many times, and it was one of the first things I noticed out of practice this year is that Brady was backing off from taking as many reps as he used to. He just doesn't this year, and I have to go back and check my tape, but I don't ever remember him not taking his rep turn because it wasn't a starter. And this year, I mentioned it to you guys really early on in training camp. I'm like, that's a little different. And I think the 11-day break was definitely about family and getting that family time in. But also I think it was to give his arm a break in the middle of camp when he really didn't need to be there. And, I think it was, maybe with Mike Evans, it was somewhat similar because they basically on the same schedule. Mike was, of course we have the hamstring issues, but I said that was a blessing in disguise, and I think it was. Mike Evans didn't need to be out there running around, especially with his hammies. Save it for the regular season, which is exactly what they did. So Brady back at practice today. I think we'll see him a little bit on Saturday night, and I'd like to see the whole operation together. We saw it against the Dolphins in the joint practices, and it was he was phenomenal. He just carved them up. Let's listen into Byron Leftwich here. And I think one of the reasons I'm leading into is talking about Brady is we've talked a lot about Trask. Nick has slammed the door shut, thinks he's garbage and will never play again.
I'd say he was garbage.
I just love rewording everything you say and just going completely over the top.
You do this with Kevin Kiermaier all the time.
Of course, yeah. I love triggering people if you haven't noticed. So, but you did say that you're gun to your head, you're out.
Okay, but I mean,
you're out on Trask.
Yes, I have.
Okay, I'm still kind of in the middle.
If I have a bad take, I have a bad take.
Yeah, whatever. Go with your gut,
you
bro.
know what my all-time bad take was already, by the way? My short time on the show.
What?
I said before the Lightning season that Steven Stamkos was a third liner. And then he proceeded to have the best year of his career.
Yeah, I didn't hold you to that one.
You didn't even held me to that one.
Yeah.
Yet, but that
we'll
might
write that
be
down.
the
We'll
worst
write
take
that
I have had.
That's a bad one.
It's
that
pretty,
didn't work out.
pretty bad.
That did not age well. But Byron Leftwich has a completely different thought on Kyle Trask, at least publicly. And it's included in this interview that he did yesterday.
Yeah, Fire, just want to ask you about the receivers. Obviously, we had a bunch of guys that have kind of been held out for a while, starting to come back with Evans coming back, with Harriman coming back. Are you concerned at all about just the overall health of the position?
The overall, because we're getting healthier. We're actually getting healthier. It's a good sign to see certain guys on the grass, certain guys on the field. So we're trending in the right direction from a health standpoint in that position. So we're just going to try to keep these guys healthy and keep putting work in at the same time.
You've obviously got some guys in that room who've made some big catches for this organization, and they're fighting for a job. Does that just speak to your depth or the nature of the business?
It's both, right? It's both. It's tough for guys all the time this time of year, right? But it's a lot of good football players in that room. So it'll work itself out. Obviously, you want to have as many good football players as you can have, and you want it to be tough. It shouldn't be easy. If it's easy, you're probably not in the right spot where you want to be from what you got as a player standpoint, but it should be tough. It should be tough at every position. We built this team to have the best that we can have, right? So it's supposed to be tough. It's always difficult in that time of year because someone's getting cut, right? People start getting cut. Me being a former player, me being cut before, that's just a difficult time for all of us. But it's the nature of the business.
How many times were you cut?
Once. It only take one. It only take once.
The competition at wide receiver wouldn't be as tough as it is if it wasn't for some of the undrafted wide receivers really making a case to make the team. What have you seen from guys like Stern, Geiger, Tompkins?
I just think what makes it easier for them, they come into that room and they see who's in that room. So they know the level of commitment that it takes to go out there and then where's the line, right? We got to play above the line, and they understand that. So it's easy for them to come in right out the gate knowing what the standard is, right? What the standard is going to be, and they try to match the standard. And it all starts with Mike, Chris, Julio. We got guys that's done a lot of great things in this league who's able to teach and lead that room, which makes it special. And you get more out of your players when you have guys like that in the room.
On the flip side, obviously there's been challenges at offensive line. What would you like to see that would put your mind at ease that you've got the group that can go forward?
To put my mind at ease or to put you guys' mind at ease? Oh, how do you know I'm not at ease? You're assuming that I'm not. That's the game, right? That's the game of football. The game of football, injuries are always coming. Obviously, you hate to lose someone like Ryan that's so important to us. But that's why we try to have depth in every position. We try to have depth in every position. And you guys know my philosophy is if he's out there on the grass, I trust and believe in it. And that's the way I go about business. That's the way we really go about business. So, I mean, next man up is not just a saying around here. We try to have good guys backing up. So if that was to happen, we can be in a good spot. So we'll see, but we'll see how it works out.
How tough is it from an evaluation standpoint that you've got guys that end up getting dismissed on injury and they don't really have the time to come back and still have a powerful performance with more roster cuts? You kind of had significant injuries on offensive line for Sean Harriman out at the beginning of camp. Like, how tough is that?
Talking about the injuries.
Yeah, I think in the receiver position, I mean, Mike and them was down, but I know Mike's going to be here, so it's not really evaluating Mike, evaluating Chris. Those evaluations been done really years ago. We know what them guys are. Obviously, when guys are down, you get to evaluate other guys, those guys' backups that came in. So that's what you really get to do. You really get an opportunity to see Hainsey in certain positions, right? You get to see Luke in certain positions that maybe he wouldn't have been in so early. And you get to grade that and react to that and watch these guys get in tough situations. You get to actually put them in tough situations to see how they're going to respond. So it's always great to get an evaluation of as many guys as possible. But guys like Mike and them, you're not getting nothing from no evaluation from them. That's pretty much been already done.
Like the progress of Luke Edeke, this guy that's coming from a small school, college to the NFL, then going from tackle to offensive guard, now getting some starting reps as well. What have you seen of his progression?
Man, I think Luke does a lot of things well that you guys may not see on a play-to-play basis, but he's a rookie. He's working his tail off. What you like about him, he's physical and he's going to work. And anything we're trying to help him to get better at, he's working at getting better. So those type of players tend to improve as the year go on, and we expect that from him.
You guys have confidence in Hainsey. You have confidence in Luke. Who's shown you the most? Who's impressed you with your backups on that line?
It's not about who's impressed me the most, right? It's about just a true evaluation because you didn't get an opportunity to see Hainsey get this many snaps before until Ryan went down. So it's what we thought, and then we see him have the opportunity to go out there and perform, and you see some of the things of what we thought. So we're just working on that process. Like I said, Hainsey's another guy. With every repetition, he's going to continuously get better. So he'll have a lot of opportunities to get better because of a rep standpoint, and we'll see.
What has Cole brought to you guys as a blocker? He looks especially good as a run blocker.
Cole? I mean, I think he brings more than just run blocking. What that is, we're still trying to figure out, right? We're still trying to figure out what kind of team we're going to be right now. But he's done a great job coming in here, getting his face, getting dirty. He don't mind getting dirty. He don't mind when it's noisy in there. He's a guy that loves the noise. So you always want those type of players, especially how physical and violent of a game that we play.
How did Tom look to you last couple days?
Excellent.
There's no Rob Gronkowski now, and you've added Russell and Julio at receiver. But in terms of the offense itself, with Bruce not being the head coach, will we see fundamental changes or differences in the offense this year?
We'll see. We're still trying to develop what we're going to be. Right now, we don't know what we'll be. We'll know what we're going to be starting in week 1. So we'll see.
I'm not telling you.
He's shown flashes throughout this camp and the preseason games. I guess what excites you about his skill set, and how do you see him maybe being used this year?
He's a man's man. I call him to be a young guy. He's really thorough guy. He's a really thorough guy. He's really aware. He's really smart. He plays the game in a physical way. So he takes notes like a quarterback. So he's a real smart kid that has an understanding and a feel for football, which allows him to play the way that he plays.
Byron, what's your overall assessment of Kyle Trask through 2 games?
Assessment of Kyle Trask.
Man, I think Kyle has been improving drastically. Obviously, the results and the numbers from the game, I think he was a few play away from you guys thinking he may have had a big game that game, but that's not how it goes. I see him getting better every day, though. So he's improving on things that you guys can't notice. That's all about playing the game of quarterback. When you have the turnovers, those are things that you guys notice, and those are things that you guys grade. But other than those type of things, obviously we got to protect the football. But other than that, this kid has been getting better every day also. And it's just a repetition thing. It's hard to play quarterback in this league, right? And you compare everything to Brady, everything looks bad, right? And that's what he's facing right now. But I'm glad that he's in that room with Thomas because he gets to get better. He gets to hear it from Tom also. So I think the kid's proven as much as you can improve with the reps he's been getting.
A specific area or two, or like a play or two in one of the preseason games that really struck you as like showing
Play or two in preseason.
For Kyle, there's no such thing as a one play when you're talking about quarterbacks. It don't really work like that. It's not like, oh, I hit this one play, I'm getting better, right? I hit a big play for 50 yards, I'm getting better. But if you screw the other 50 plays up, you're probably not getting better. So we like to look at it as a whole, and I think he's getting better every day.
It's obviously going to be up to Coach Bowles, depending on how much the starters play in this final preseason game. But are there any positions that you in particular are looking at that you might want to lobby to get a little more playing time so it helps make your final decision for?
Just like you said, that's up to Coach Bowles.
All right, it's Byron Leftwich right there. You know, at the end, the talk about Trask. And I think he's right, and he's one of the things that it's hard to evaluate. We got, you know, we're a sports talk show. We got 2 hours to fill every day. We're gonna have opinions, and we're gonna make arguments of what we see. But it always has the caveat. We should try to throw it out there, but we probably should throw it out there more. That the amount of knowledge that Byron Leftwich has about Kyle Trask is voluminous. 90% of the stuff we don't know. Because we don't know the play call. We don't know what his responsibilities were. We don't know if the receiver ran the wrong route. We don't know if there was a bad protection call on this one, whether that was on the center, whether that was on the quarterback. These are all absolutely key things to playing quarterback and being great at quarterback. And in Kyle, he could be doing all those things right, but maybe there's certain things that happen on certain plays where those plays don't turn out to be great plays. I mean, the throw to Scotty Miller was perfect down the sideline. Scotty didn't catch it. And I say this all the time, when you're working with the number one receivers who get better separation, it's a hell of a lot easier to play quarterback. You might say, well, they're going against third team corners as well. That's true, but you still have elite receivers that make you look elite. So it's really, really hard to get a real feel for, is Kyle Trask NFL ready? Can he step in and play when we just don't have enough information in that regard? And obviously Leftwich has a lot more. Now, he's not going to come in here and trash Kyle Trask either, even if he's playing terribly. So, but I would suggest to you that I think we've seen enough on tape that says this kid's got a chance to be, what would I comp him? A Kirk Cousins? Maybe, a guy like that, in the right situations. Brad Johnson, Brad, I think was a way better quarterback than people give him credit for. But when he was surrounded by talent, Brad was a champion. He was a Super Bowl champion, and he made everybody around him better because of how well he executed the offense. And I think Trask could be a guy like that. And Brad made the Pro Bowl twice and won a Super Bowl. So,
yeah. It's a tough case because we've only really seen. I mean, I really don't even count last year the preseason games because he barely played. I mean, he threw like 15 passes. We've only seen 2 preseason games to go off of. The first one,
this is really his first year of development.
The first one, pretty good. We said,
yeah.
The last one, not so good. But then again, nobody on the field last game was good.
No,
at all.
No.
And we talked about the Scotty Miller drop. That probably should have been
a huge deal.
It's a huge deal.
Yeah.
I get it. I just sometimes with quarterbacks, it's like, to me, it shouldn't be as hard to do they pop off the screen is what I'm always looking for.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, he doesn't do that for me. He just he looks very generic.
Yeah.
Like if I was building a generic quarterback on Madden, for example, I feel like Kyle Trask is like the starter they give you to start with, and you have to develop him. I think that's honestly fair.
If he's going to become an above average quarterback in this league, a lot of it's going to be his mentals. He's going to have to beat you like Brady beat you in a classic drop back fashion. And there just aren't a lot of those guys in the league right now. Not to say that he can't move and he's not, he's not a statue. He can run, and he's a big guy, and he's tough to bring down. You know, I comp him a lot to Ben Roethlisberger, and I think he can be that type of guy. But we just don't have enough information now to close, certainly not to close the book on him. So I think we'll get a little bit of him this week, though. Absolutely. No question about it, against a very good team in Indianapolis, although he's probably not going to go up against the ones. I think we'll see that more from Brady if he plays. The other quick note that we teased, and it's now become official, Novak Djokovic will not be able to play in the U.S. Open because of his vaccination status. He cannot enter the United States, which is just comical at this point. I mean, it's comical. We have no idea. Maybe 2 to 5 million people that have come through the southern border. We have no idea of their vaccination status. I mean, obviously, Novak Djokovic is a little higher profile, but the fact of the matter is the people are streaming in, and we're going to keep out a guy who has absolutely no chance whatsoever to infect anybody with anything, especially with a vaccine that doesn't work. And we're still implementing these things, which is absolutely insane. So Novak Djokovic, in a time when he can be making his historic mark in winning majors and become the winningest player in the history of the game, is not going to be able to compete in the U.S. Open, which just absolutely boggles my mind. But that's the situation. All right, we'll take another break. We'll come back on the other side. We're going to get to Scotty Miller as well. He talked yesterday, so we'll get to him. And we'll update a couple notes from college football as, guess what, folks? It's week 0. FSU is going to be playing here in just a few minutes, a couple days. So we'll talk some college football when we come back as well. Stay with us. To make sure your home insurance is in order. In the last year, many of us have made improvements to our homes. So call the folks at Italiano and discuss these upgrades to make sure you have enough coverage. According to a recent report, almost 64% of homeowners don't have enough insurance on their home, which is their most valuable asset. Also, a great time to make sure you have flood insurance. Even if your mortgage company does not require flood insurance, your home could still be at flood risk. Another big item as we enter hurricane season is making sure your pool enclosure is added to your policy and there will be no issue at claim time. That happens a lot. So call your friendly agent at Italiano Insurance to review your policies today. 813-877-7799 or ItalianoInsurance.com.
Hi, my name is Mike Warner, a Navy vet. I've had problems with addictions throughout the many decades. Something saved my life, and that is the Heroes Mile program.
Hi, I'm Bill Lennox, retired Lieutenant General, United States Army. If you have any challenges in alcohol, drug, if you have PTSD, MST, think about Heroes Mile.
Heroes Mile, a recovery center for veterans by veterans. Call 1-888-VET-NOW2 to learn more or visit heroesmile.com.
Hey guys, Serena Fazan here for the Gold and Diamond Source. Are you looking for the hottest trends in men's jewelry? Ladies love to see men spice it up with something cool from the Gold and Diamond Source. Whether you're looking for a gold chain, fashion rings, even a pre-owned Rolex watch, or thinking about getting engaged, there's only one place to go. Go see my friends, Julie and Steve Weintraub at the Gold and Diamond Source for your one-stop jewelry supercenter. It's never been more important to shop local and support the businesses that support our amazing Tampa Bay community. None better than the great folks at the Gold and Diamond Source, 3800 Ulmerton Road, or online at goldendiamond.com.
Are you concerned your spouse might be cheating or want to locate a long-lost relative or love? Or a missing person and the police are not helping? An insurance adjuster who needs proof of injury. Hi, I'm Rachel D'Antonio from Tampa Bay's premier private investigation agency, Emerging Investigation. We have a proven track record of results. Local attorneys and insurance companies hire us to discover insurance fraud and crucial information in criminal cases. We can help in custody matters, and we devote a tremendous state-of-the-art technology and cutting-edge industry surveillance techniques to get you trusted results. Larger corporate agencies can be more expensive and do not offer the personal level of customer service and interaction that we pride ourselves on. We are a family-owned business. Our professional experience team includes my son, lead investigator Zach D'Antonio, a former collegiate athlete, and my daughter Emily, who leads our in-house investigations team. Don't take matters into your own hands by trying to install snooping programs on phones or GPS trackers. That can cause unneeded stress and give you inaccurate results. Go with the professionals at Emerging Investigations. We have proven results and tremendous testimonials from our satisfied customers. Call for a free consultation and we can discuss how we can help. Peace of mind is as valuable as bad news. Just go to our website, emerginginv.com, or call 813-291-FACT. That's emerginginv.com. We're Emerging Investigations. We get results in life's biggest matters.
Pure sports. JP is back on. Welcome back. FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. Our big thanks to Rondé Barber, who joined us early in the program for a half an hour. If you missed that, we'll be posting it up on social media. You can always go back and watch it from the beginning on our YouTube page. Please subscribe to our YouTube page, the JP Peterson Show. We had 1,000 viewers the other day on one of our shows, so we really appreciate you guys checking out the show. We're getting upwards of 50,000 views and listens every month. Getting a lot of new sponsors, a lot of new eyes on the show. So we really appreciate you guys tuning in and let us do what we do each and every day. Be able to tell some of these great stories and cover Tampa Bay sports like no other. We're the only 2-hour streaming show each and every day. Been covering this market for over 25 years now. So we have a lot of fun with it, but we can't do it without you folks. So we really appreciate you. We appreciate our sponsors as well. I want to say a big thank you to Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Chris Lugo, we had him on last week, did a great spot talking about sleep and dieting and testosterone replacement therapy, nutrition. He's really, really good at that. And if you want to get in the best shape of your life, get your immune system boosted up, lose weight, lean out, gain weight, whatever it is, he works a lot with our soldiers, especially our pilots in the National Guard. A lot of them out of MacDill. And he does a fantastic job with them, keeping them in tip-top shape. He can do the same thing for you. So go to Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Get an appointment. They'll, whatever you need, maybe sometimes outside the hours, they'll take care of you there as well. Depending on your schedule, just let them know. Just contact them at BAMMC.com, and they'll set it up, and you'll get a nice personalized visit of 45 minutes, sometimes to an hour in your first visit. And he goes through all of your blood work and makes sure everything is right and personalized for you. So go to BAMMC.com. Speaking of great stories, one of the best stories maybe in Bucs history is this young man, Nolan Turner, who is playing safety, undrafted free agent out of Clemson. If you've not seen his story or known his story, his father, Kevin Turner, who they call KT, played for the Patriots and the Eagles, played 8 years in the NFL. He was a fullback, and he died of ALS just before his son Nolan was signed to Clemson. And the story is just amazing. Rick Stroud wrote the piece they just put up in the Times. Really well done, and it takes you through his whole journey. And if you're not a spiritual person, you might be after you learn this story of Nolan Turner. And he's played really, really well, and he played well at Clemson. And his father and Dabo Sweeney they worked together in real estate. When Dabo was out of coaching for a year, the two of them worked together and actually were doing some work in the South Carolina area. And Dabo was like, I want to go see Clemson. So he went over there and they kind of checked it out. And then a year later, Tommy Bowden called Dabo Sweeney in to be a coach, and the rest is history, becoming one of the most successful coaches in college history, out of nowhere. I mean, literally working in the real estate industry in 2001, and 13, 14 years later, he's winning a national championship as the head coach at Clemson, and has brought them back to tremendous heights. But that connection with KT and Dabo Sweeney goes deep, and Dabo didn't want to bring in, had it have it appear to be nepotism. His good friend and obviously had tragically passed from ALS. To bring in his son, that's going to look like, you're just doing it as a favor. Well, he showed the tape to Brett Venables, his then defensive coordinator, and Brett's like, who is this kid? He said, I'm not exactly sure his name or whatever. Just tell me what you think of the tape. And Venables came back and said, this kid's a baller. This kid is a baller. And, he played extremely well at Clemson, and now here he is trying to make the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And it was interesting that when they got to camp, they, numbers go fast, right? Especially when you got 90, 100 guys in camp, and they threw him number 34. And just so happens that's the number that his dad wore in the NFL. And it's an incredible story. And if you're not pulling for Nolan Turner to make this team, and obviously it's going to be tough, he'll probably end up on the on the practice squad. But his dream of playing in the NFL is not over. And I think before this season is over, Nolan Turner is going to be making some plays for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Maybe if not this year, maybe next year. But this kid's got too much ability, too much fight, and too much inspiration to not make it in some way in the NFL. So I think we're all pulling for Nolan Turner. It's a great story. Check it out in the Times. Rick Stroud wrote it. And I believe College Game Day did a story last year on it, if I'm not mistaken. And literally, I remember watching it just bawling. It will choke you up. I get a little choked up just talking about it. You could probably find that on YouTube, Nolan Turner. So check that out. Really, really well done, College Game Day. My favorite show, and it's coming back this week.
You're not
the best show on television.
You're not a big noon guy?
No.
Or we got Urban Meyer's back.
Rob? No.
Yes.
Did Fox brought back Urban Meyer?
He is back at Fox, yes.
No.
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yes, he's back. He ain't coaching again. What's he going to do? He's got to live.
Well,
I
think he's got plenty of money.
Now,
bro.
I didn't think he was the greatest analyst when he was.
No, he's not a good analyst.
Hold on. Do you remember?
He's got no credibility.
Hold up.
What I say no credibility. He coached. He's a hell of a college coach, but I don't want to hear from him.
Do you remember? I think he might have been on the Herd or something like that when he was on Fox, and they had him on the big screen, and he was like in a motorhome. Do you remember that? And there was like a man that was like behind him.
I don't.
That was wearing like a Speedo, just walking around in the background of his picture. And Urban like turned around and was like, "Get out of the screen! Get out!" Do you remember that?
No.
Oh my gosh, that was like the greatest moment.
That's why I'm shocked that he's on, because there's a lot of
that was the
freaky
greatest
stuff.
moment of his broadcast career right there. You don't remember that?
No, I must have missed this. He was just in a motorhome. This is when he was coaching the Jags?
No. This is before. This is when he was at Fox before.
Okay, so when he wasn't the year he was off coaching, or the 2
The
years
year he was
whatever
off coaching, yeah. Well, I'm trying to see if I can find it.
So he's in some just nondescript motorhome, and there's a dude in a Speedo walking by.
Here it is right here. Let's see if we can get the video to come up here.
Oh, he's doing the interview on a boat or whatever. Okay, all right. So maybe it's a boat.
Yeah, you see the man in the background, right?
Yeah. These dudes like walking around in a speed. Well, at least they're on a boat. It's not.
But this guy just walks in and he's like, "Oh, he's doing an interview," but he doesn't do anything. He just stands there in the screen and walks in. Look at this.
What the hell's going
Look at
on?
him just looking right at it.
What the hell's going on?
And Urban's got this interesting.
Urban
mustache,
looks
by
high.
the way.
He
He's got
looks
this
high.
interesting stash right here.
That's a stash.
Yeah,
Does he not look high?
he does.
He looks high there.
He does. Look at him. Watch I think this is it.
What the actual? And so now he's on the Big Ten Network again.
Yeah, he's back.
Who wants to hear from him?
I just don't think if you're Fox, why would you put this guy back on your TV screen? There's
I don't
so
know.
much negative nature.
There's so many other people you could hire.
He's almost outed himself and I guess it's different because he's doing college football, not pro. He's outed himself that he doesn't know anything about the pro game.
Yeah,
we know that. But I think he's lost all of his credibility.
Yes,
to be honest
he's
with you.
lost his credibility, and like the whole thing he did with the bringing in the strength coach that was kicked out of Iowa, with and a lot of people coming forward about the way he treated black players, and then you bring him in, and then some of the ways he treated the players, all the stories that have happened about Urban Meyer, then the incident up at the bar in Columbus. Not going. What are we doing here? Like, what are we doing? You can't come up with anybody better than Urban Meyer to be on. Who wants to hear from Urban Meyer? Like, seriously, anybody? Florida fans don't. I'm pretty sure Ohio State fans, like, you win national championships at places and they hate you. You got to be a special type of turd. Really. I don't. Wow. I'm shocked by that. But College Game Day, Lee Corso coming back. It's still, to me, the best show on television. The best. It is my favorite show to watch. I can't wait till it comes on. The stories they tell. College football.
Gene Wojciechowski is a tearjerker.
Yeah, and
every single Saturday.
And Tom Rinaldi, when he was with them and did so many great stories. I think Rinaldi did the Nolan Turner story, if I'm not mistaken, brought me to tears.
He's on Fox now.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming he's going to be their ace for Big Noon.
God, I hope so.
I think Big Noon's a good show. This is a good debate because a lot of people are split.
Rob Stone is I've known Rob for freaking 20 years. Good friend of the program.
I like him, but I love Reggie Bush I love Reggie Bush's insight. I like Brady
Reggie's
Quinn.
good.
Brady
Reggie's
Quinn
good.
has really
Brady
good
Quinn's
insight.
good.
Like they have some really good guys on there.
When I watch it, I like it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to watch it with Urban Meyer on. I'm just not. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. But I'm so like that's the best show certainly on ESPN. God, I hope they don't ruin the show. I'm sure they will.
There's no way. It's been 20. It's almost 30 years now, and they haven't done anything to change it. So
well, there were some
fine.
moments where the Disney woke culture has creeped into college. Please don't ruin my College Game Day because I think it's such a fun. They do such a tremendous job.
Where are they going for the game day here?
I don't know.
Let me see.
I saw it was interesting. Somebody on Twitter the other day was predicting College Game Day where they'll go each and every
it's so unpredictable.
Week. Yeah.
I mean, I know they're going for Alabama. Alabama's probably gonna have like 4 games on here, for being honest.
Yeah.
Week 1 is this is obvious. Notre Dame, Ohio State.
Okay, are they doing week 0? Like
I'm assuming they have to be. I mean, the big game that everybody's talking about for week 0, isn't it Nebraska and Northwestern? But that's in Ireland. I don't think they're going to Ireland.
I think they've done that.
Maybe.
That would be awesome. College Game Day from Dublin.
Oh, well, no, this is actually predictions here, but the expectation is Notre Dame, Ohio State, week 1. And then week 2, it should be built into Alabama, Texas.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, golly, the ratings on that game are going to be maybe the biggest. That might be the highest rated game all year, if I had to guess.
Ohio State, Notre Dame.
That's true because Alabama's fan base is obviously very regional, but Texas is very. When was the last time these two teams played?
Texas, Alabama.
I mean, it's going to become a yearly thing as we get closer to the expansion. But
I'm trying to think of a bowl game when the last time they played. I was trying to think has Texas ever played Florida State? I'm thinking like some obscure bowl game.
They played in the BCS National Championship, Texas and Alabama in 2009.
That's right.
That was the Colt McCoy days.
Yeah. Yeah, good stuff. So we got week 0 college football coming up this weekend. FSU, Duquesne. I don't know if I haven't even checked the schedule.
Not many
yet.
Good games.
Not many good games.
Vanderbilt, Hawaii.
A lot of warm up games.
FSU's on ACC Network, and I don't even have that channel. So
I think it's a 5 o'clock start too.
It's an odd start, odd channel. So I'm going to be
You'll be going to a watering hole, perhaps.
Going to a watering hole.
Yes. All right, let's take one more break. We're gonna hit one more break, and then we'll come back. We'll listen to a little bit of Scotty Miller from yesterday. I heard a lot of people thinking he's getting cut. I just don't see that happening. I do not see that happening at all. But I'm not sure the Bucs would put him up there if he was even on the bubble. But we'll hear from Scotty Miller when we come back.
Serena Fazan here for the Gold and Diamond Source. Are you looking for the hottest trends in men's jewelry? Ladies love to see men spice it up with something cool from the Gold and Diamond Source. Whether you're looking for a gold chain, fashion rings, even a pre-owned Rolex watch, or thinking about getting engaged, there's only one place to go. Go see my friends, Julie and Steve Weintraub at the Gold and Diamond Source for your one-stop jewelry supercenter. It's never been more important to shop local and support the businesses that support our amazing Tampa Bay community. None better than the great folks at the Gold and Diamond Source, 3800 Ulmerton Road, or online at goldendiamond.com.
Are you concerned your spouse might be cheating or want to locate a long-lost relative or love? Or a missing person and the police are not helping? An insurance adjuster who needs proof of injury. Hi, I'm Rachel D'Antonio from Tampa Bay's premier private investigation agency, Emerging Investigation. We have a proven track record of results. Local attorneys and insurance companies hire us to discover insurance fraud and crucial information in criminal cases. We can help in custody matters, and we devote a tremendous state-of-the-art technology and cutting-edge industry surveillance techniques to get you trusted results. Larger corporate agencies can be more expensive and do not offer the personal level of customer service and interaction that we pride ourselves on. We are a family-owned business. Our professional experience team includes my son, lead investigator Zach D'Antonio, a former collegiate athlete, and my daughter Emily, who leads our in-house investigations team. Don't take matters into your own hands by trying to install snooping programs on phones or GPS trackers. That can cause unneeded stress and give you inaccurate results. Go with the professionals at Emerging Investigations. We have proven results and tremendous testimonials from our satisfied customers. Call for a free consultation and we can discuss how we can help. Peace of mind is as valuable as bad news. Just go to our website, emerginginv.com, or call 813-291-FACT. That's emerginginv.com. We're Emerging Investigations. We get results in life's biggest matters.
Guys, let me tell you about Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Are you experiencing low sex drive, fatigue, hot flashes, moodiness, and you just don't feel like you have the vitality you once had? You're not just getting old, it's likely low testosterone. Studies over the last 20 years show a shocking decline in younger males aged 16 to 39. Older men have seen a sharp decline as well. Do something about it. Go see my friend Christopher Lugo at Bay Area Modern Medicine. Testosterone replacement is not a frivolous treatment. It takes a professional, targeted approach that focuses on total body wellness, vitality, and emotional stability. Not a one-size-fits-all approach like many clinics use. They will monitor your blood work and adjust your treatment as needed for optimal results. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling.
Pure Sports. JP is back on.
Welcome back.
FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by Bay Area Modern Medical Center. You just heard their advertisement. At Italiano Insurance, if you started a side hustle during COVID and the business has grown, you need business insurance. If you were to get sued, you could lose all your personal wealth if you're not properly protected. That's right, your home, your savings, everything. So get protected now. Call the great agents at Italiano Insurance, 877-7799, and a real human being will answer the phone. How about that? And get you protected. Doesn't cost much if you have a small business, bigger business, maybe a little bit more. But if you haven't shopped your business insurance in a while, you could be overpaying by thousands of dollars. One customer had their golf buddy handling their business insurance and called Italiano to shop it around, and they saved him $26,000 annually. Thanks, buddy. $26,000 annually. That's right. So give them a call, 813-877-7799, or go to ItalianoInsurance.com. Italiano Insurance, protecting all the pieces of your life for over 60 years. All right, a couple notes from Bucs land. Cyril Grayson has been cut and given an injury settlement. He injured his hamstring. Had a big moment with the Bucs. I think it was the Jets game that he caught the game-winning touchdown. Great throw by Brady. But looks like he is gone. And they also brought in linebacker. It was an interesting ad yesterday. A guy that's played a lot of meaningful football, Jannard Avery, 6 foot, 250-pound outside rusher, is going to wear number 59. He appeared at 53 games, making 17 starts for the Browns in 18 and 19, the Eagles in 19 through 21, spent the 2022 offseason with the Pittsburgh Steelers before being released. 96 career tackles, 24 quarterback hits, 7.5 sacks, 5 passes defense, 1 forced fumble. So he's originally a 5th-round pick. So a guy that's got some NFL experience. So they're adding a little depth in that situation, which kind of, when they add guys like that, you kind of raise an eyebrow. All right, let's get a little Scotty Miller going. Little Scotty Miller met the media yesterday before we get out of here. A little taste of the scooter and his thoughts on Brady coming back, et cetera, et cetera. I, for one, don't think he's getting cut, but some people do. I don't see it. Scotty Miller.
The last preseason game, kind of the last chance to really show something on the field. tell me what your approach is right now in terms of the urgency and how you're looking at things with some jobs on the line here with Cuts next week.
Yeah, just same mindset as always, just locked in, ready to go. Doesn't matter if it's right now because it's the last game or just any day, really, any opportunity we get to come out here and work, just take full advantage of it and try to be the best player I could be.
Cliche ringer. Ding, ding, ding.
History, and here a couple years later, you're fighting for a job. Have you just resigned yourself that that's the nature of the NFL?
Yeah, it's never going to be easy. Nothing's ever going to be handed to you. It's kind of like my journey my whole life with football. Ever since I was a little kid, it's never been easy. So I just got to fight for everything, and that's just what I'll continue to do the rest of my career. So just a blessing to be out here and just try to take advantage of every opportunity I get.
God, this is one of the first weeks where it's straight up just like practice, then you go into the game. It's more of like a regular season routine compared to all the joint practices, moving around, shuffling, things like that. Do you prefer the fact that you guys are like now in a little bit of more of a routine, or the other way around where it's like, hey, you never know what to expect?
Yeah, I like both for different reasons. I mean, it's fun in training camp and going against other teams because it's really competitive, and it's best versus best, ones versus one. So it gets going, and you get to really work on your game. And now you're kind of going against a scout team, so the defense is going off cards, and it's a little easier for the offense side of the ball and for the defense, respectively, when we're running the scout team. So it's different, but it's this late in camp, like everyone's body is hurting and, legs are hurting. So it's kind of nice that it's not maybe quite as hard on us because we're going against a scout team. We can really hone in on all the little details for the game.
You got that extra muscle in the offseason. How has that helped you so far through camp? And have you noticed any big differences in the way you've been playing?
Yeah, I put on like 10, 15 pounds, but maybe a little bit just helped me getting off of press, blocking, stuff like that. And really just staying healthy out there, being able to take hits over the middle, stuff like that. We don't really tackle too much in practice, but in the games, that's where to really pay off, going in there and digging guys out in the run game or taking hits over the middle.
Practice, you guys have been indoors the last 2 games, indoor and Indy. How much is working on that turf help guys just with a little bit extra step like yourself?
Yeah, it helps. Not too much slipping going on the turf. I've always liked turf growing up. I like a fast service because I'm one of the fastest guys out there. So it's fun. Also, in the AC is a little nicer than out in this 100-degree heat every day.
How was Tom throwing the ball after an 11-day layoff?
He's looking good as always. He's fresh, and he looks good. Happy to have him back.
We saw you in Indianapolis last year to cover some kicks and do some things on special teams. Are you continuing to try to do more on the side of the ball?
Yeah, for sure. I do whatever I'm asked to do. I played a little gunner last game, a little bit last year down the stretch. I'm sure I'll play a little bit this weekend in this last game. And like everything I do, if I'm playing gunner, I'm trying to run down there and make the play. You know what I mean? So, and trying to have fun with everything I do. So.
There you go, Scotty Miller. He doesn't seem like a man that's too worried and certainly willing to play special teams. So with his experience level and his connection with Brady, I just don't think there's any way he's not making this team. And I think they're probably going to keep 7 receivers anyway. So it just shows how deep they are. No question about it. Some other breaking news this morning. The Dolphins and Eagles were supposed to have a joint practice today, but the Dolphins canceled it. Seems like a number of their players have a stomach bug. So they're going to try to nip that in the bud and didn't want to infect the Eagles at all. So, we forget that there are other illnesses out there, and those things can run through teams really, really fast. Evidently, there were a bunch of Dolphin players throwing up. They think it might be food poisoning, but it might be also some type of stomach bug. So they will not practice together today. I mentioned Cyril Grayson getting cut as well. So that's basically the news out of the Bucs camp. Here's some interesting news from the Rays. Shane Baz is planning on throwing on Monday and feels like, this is according to Mark Topkin, he said last checkup went well and he feels good. He will start throwing on Monday, is planning as if he will pitch in games again this season, but knows there may not be enough time. Decision may not be his. Boy, there's another tremendous arm that I totally forgot about that could be coming back for the Rays. Glass now, Shane Baz.
Wasn't even counting on Shane Baz.
And I don't know freaking started a playoff game last year.
Is the team even counting on him?
I don't think so.
Because,
do they have room for him?
It's not like the wording where it's Baz who wants to really play. But again, the team has so many other Wander Franco, Tyler Glasnow, and Shane Baz.
Yeah.
3 hugely important parts of this future. I don't know how you rush these guys back right now.
Well, but then again, he went out with a little bit of an elbow strain. It's not Tommy John. It's not anything major. I mean, he should be able to come back. I mean, it's all, you just don't know. But again, if you can get an arm like that back and in your bullpen to be able to use, that's a plus as far as I'm concerned. So, by the way, the Rays lineup today, Yandy leading off, playing third, Manuel Margot batting second, playing right. Randy Rosarena is the DH, batting third. Beryl Ramirez will play first and bat fourth. Itzhak Paredes will play second and bat fifth. Bethancourt will be catching today, batting sixth. Peralta playing left, batting seventh. Yu Chang will be playing shortstop today. Wow, okay. No Taylor Walls, and Jose Siri will be in center field. So there's your lineup for the 1 o'clock first pitch. All right, our thanks to Rondé Barber, who joined us for a half hour this morning. If you want to go check that out, download the app, FanStream Sports, all one word. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's always on Twitter and Facebook. You can go back and watch it there. And, of course, on our website, fanstreamsports.com. Have a great day, everybody. Go Rays. We'll talk to you tomorrow.